Loud and clear. Okay, super good. It's super quiet. Okay. Oh, damn. One day. Okay. How about now? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Is it good? All right, it might be because, 1 second. Positioning the microphone can be a bit of a tricky thing. I was trying it on my collar, but that might not be good enough. Okay, is that better now? Mic is fine. Okay, good. We can move on with our lives. Hi, how's it going? Who we got here? Pokraj Roy, hello, nice to have you here. Thank you for showing up. And I understand that you couldn't get there last week. It's perfectly okay. All Stars Dcraft, hello. Luna, welcome back. How are you doing? Stream Elements, the bot finally works. How are you? Fly Fox, lurking while PC, lurking on the PC while I saw. Wonderful. Well, glad to have you here regardless. Low waste time Melanin, yay, I'm not late. Morning everyone, I'm glad to have you here on time. How was your morning treating you? Roman Ellis, hi, how's it going? Nice to have you here. Nudia, baking strem, indeed. Trying to do these every other week, but we'll see how that goes until I hopefully don't run out of recipes to do. Sumi, how are you? The very generous Sumi, how's it going? Sorry for gaslighting your ears for a moment there, given the issues you've had. Annie made it. Made it. Hi Annie, how are you doing? Oh, Annie made it 21. The 21st in line. Is it even a Salari stream without tech issues? True, at this point, you just kind of have to expect it. Blame OBS, because OBS isn't great when it comes to testing things in advance. Like whenever I do a microphone test on there, it always gives me like double voice on it, and I have no idea like how to fix it. It's a bit embarrassing. My morning's going well, thanks for asking. Good, glad to hear. Hands up all you morning people out there, because I am not one of them. Everyone enjoy the stream, sit back, relax, grab a snack, stay hydrated indeed, but don't overdo it. Not many people need to do the whole gallon a day thing. My friend gave me new pants over the weekend and they feel like a dream, feeling very cheerful today. Also saw Monkey Man. Go watch Monkey Man if you like John Wick. I've heard of Monkey Man, but I do not know much about Monkey Man other than it was directed by Dev Patel, who's a very good director apparently. Oh my god. An emote actually worked in the chat widget. So yeah, you may have seen that I did some stuff earlier, doing the emote reset. And the reason I was doing that was because the chat widget that you see on the right here, that for some reason doesn't show the custom emotes that I have. So like if you post one of the custom emotes, like you know, the Curie or Camus ones or my Final Fantasy character ones, it doesn't show up, it just shows up as a text, and it's really annoying. And I was told that it should work because I actually paid for this widget. I mean, it was like $10, but you know, you pay for stuff, you expect it to work. So I've been going back and forth with Stream Elements, with the people I bought it from, and yeah, it's annoying. In fact, I just got an email back from them. Okay. Did you use the command successfully? Yes, I did. Okay, well, that's helpful. Anyway, but yeah, if you want to test out the emotes or something like that, if you're a channel member, feel free to. I'm curious just to see whether this won't be a shit show. YouTube being YouTube. Yeah, because YouTube's not great with I guess it's partly YouTube, partly the like companies that do like the streaming stuff, so like Stream Elements, Stream Labs, etc. And YouTube like doesn't have a lot of compatibilities with those, whereas like Twitch is way more compatible. But that's because these companies have worked on Twitch stuff much longer than YouTube, since obviously it's a larger streaming audience there. So like, for example, with that test thing, like if I want to type in bot commands using the Stream Elements bot, I have to be live on a public stream. I can't just do like a private or unlisted stream. So yeah, it's not the best of conditions. Let me lower the music then if it seems a bit too loud. I see some of you pointing it out. Okay. The camera? Yeah, I think that's fine. It's hard to tell from here. In fact, sorry, more tech issues. I'm just trying to figure out whether my camera looks like it's in focus, right, people? Let me just, I can't get 1080p quality on this. Does it look like it's in focus? Would you believe it or not, I've been streaming for over a year. You think I would have got my shit figured out by now? He was Zuko in the live action version of Last Airbender. We're talking about the good live action one or the bad live action one? Yeah, streaming, despite its growth, still has so many technical issues that aren't necessarily the faults of the streamer, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, M. Night Shyamalan one. Oh yeah, that one. God. Yeah, do not watch the M. Night Shyamalan version of The Last Airbender. It will ruin your life. Okay, so baking. So apple crumble, if you're not aware of it, as the description says, it is a British classic. It's a very simple one. It's basically just like, the top layer is kind of just like cookie crumbs, like nice thicker cookie crumbs, kind of like the texture of sort of breadcrumbs in a way, but nice and sweet. And underneath that, you've got a layer of what is basically apple pie filling. So you've got apples sliced up and some brown sugar. You can add a bit of cinnamon if you want to, which I have a bit there and I will be adding it. And I'm going to be adding a touch of nutmeg as well. It's completely optional, these things. I know some people have allergies to them. And I know a lot of people don't like cinnamon, which is frankly crazy to me. But yeah, those are optional things. It is very, very simple to make. And of course we got custard that we'll be making for it. I'm going to be lazy and make custard out of the can, because if you make custard from scratch, it can be a bit hit or miss. And it takes a lot of stirring to do. So for a substantial part of this, you're just gonna watch me stirring a pot for a very long time. Hopefully not too long though. I don't want to agitate my carpal tunnel. My friend I was with the other weekend has been streaming for like half a decade. This is normal. Yeah, it's just weird quirks of softwares, back-end stuff and everything. Yeah. I mean, you know, the chat widget does look nice and everything, so at least there's that. And there's a little bit of progress. I will say at least it's showing the default YouTube widgets, emotes now, which it was not doing before. So some progress. Cinnamon is important because Western people need in desserts. Yeah, cinnamon is great. Like, cinnamon is always a welcome addition to anything that has like a bit of sourness to it, for example. Noxan Baladnia Slovaka. Hello, how are you doing? Nice to have you here. I like your choice in cooking music, Salari. I will admit, it's just a bit of a royalty-free playlist. What was that alert just there? Okay, someone subscribed to the channel. Okay. Simi, wherever you are. I don't know if you're watching. I don't know if you're just watching another video in the background, but thank you very much. And oh, you became wait, I'm misreading something here. God, I am out of sauce. Oh wait, Stream Elements is telling me. That's nice. Thank you, Stream Elements. Anya, of course. How are you doing, Anya? I saw your post on the Discord the other day. Very nice, very insightful. I appreciated that. Lovely seeing you too. Oh, let me hide my reaction button thing. It's getting in the way. Okay. So, how about we get started? First of all, let me get a chopping board. And a knife. I love cinnamon in anything, lattes, desserts, chili, soup. I never get sick of it. It's a great addition, honestly. It is one of those things that kind of baffles me that people don't like it. It just has a lovely... One thing I really like it in is apple turnover. Just because I'm a huge sucker for apple turnovers. But yeah, it's always a wonderful addition. Nutmeg too, especially in donuts. Nutmeg is the secret ingredient to good donuts. You know what I find impressive? Salari has so many subscribers and regulars in live stream or on the Discord. I couldn't remember that many people. Oh my gosh, impressive, to be honest. You pick it up over time. I mean, it helps to be diligent about the, you know, what was I going to say? Good to be diligent with the Discord, see that everything's going on there. And I will say I generally have a good memory for people that show up and everything. But sometimes I do mess up as well. Like you got someone like Dio, who has like 5 different names on every platform. Keeping up with that is a nightmare, I won't lie. Yeah, like Dio is Steve in this one. It's like, I know like 5 Steves, come on man. These are comfort streams for after the series videos. It is, yeah. And you know, maybe someday I'll be able to do more regular streams throughout the week. I would like to be able to do that, especially if it became a good venue for financial support as well, because you know it is good to be able to supplement that since this stuff ain't free. Cinnamon toast crunch, too good. French toast crunch as well. Only know Steven and Steve Burns. Steve Burns from Blue's Clues, are you referring to? Because I have a little fact about that. Gotta offset the depressing videos with something relaxing or else we'd all go insane. Absolutely, yeah. You know, that's why I did that video about ignorance, because you do have to just bury your head in the sand a little bit. Otherwise you just fall apart, really. Yes, Steven from Blue's Clues. So yes, Steve Burns. I have a fun fact about him. Does this look aggressive, me pointing the knife towards camera? So Steve Burns actually had a small music side project a few years back, not too long ago, but he had a musical side project with Stephen Drozd of the Flaming Lips, who are one of my favorite bands. They make incredible music and I highly recommend them. But he had a project with him which was called Steven, so Steve Drozd, Steve Burns, and it was a psychedelic album directed towards children, like young elementary / preschool children and everything. There's a song about how someone's bike ends up being destroyed by a meteorite and the randomness of the galaxy. There's a song about learning how to use the potty, like all kinds of stuff. It's great and it is very, very charming. So look that up if you get a chance. Still in my working clothes, I just realized. Time to strip in the comfort of my own home and get into my comfy stuff. It's always a relief to be able to do that. I never got it when people who go back home from work and they're wearing like a uniform or even a school uniform and they're just stay in it for the rest of the night. That's just admitting defeat in my eyes. It's like they win, they get to keep me in this for most of my day. Dude, I knew someone once that actually slept in their work clothes, which is like, if that's not a sign of depression, I don't know what is. Saying depressing in air quotes kind of because I don't actually find your videos depressing, they're just harsh truths. That's the thing, you know, I don't intend for it to ultimately be a depressing experience in my videos. Like, I bring up things, like there's like a fine line of like being cynical and being informative, because a lot of people out there do sort of like put forward the idea that like it's something that is, you know, being open and honest about the faults with like people, media, society, etc. is just doomsaying, and that's not true. There is a way to be cynical with that stuff, but it's not always true. It's always about how you deliver it. So yeah, with that I tried to take the approach of like, here's the truth of this, but at the same time, it's not all terrible. It's good to be aware, but it's good to not be the thing that dominates your every waking hour. So yeah, and obviously I try to finish videos with like some element of positivity too. I sleep in my work clothes because I work in my PJs. Well, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Oh, also, hello, Starfish Face. How are you? Star and her... Give me a moment. Star and her famous comic, fuck. I need to come up with a pun for your comic name. Give me a moment, I'm on the spot. I'm on the spot. Alright, I have one, but it's very, very niche. Very niche. Tiny niche. Star and her famous comic, and I'm gonna say it because I know this won't work anyway. Star and her famous comic Cast, based on the 1990s British indie group that released their 1995 single Custard. Sorry, not Custard. God damn it. I'm going home. I am home, I forgot. Star and her famous comic casting agency. I don't know. I'm out of gas. I'm out of gas. That'll do. That'll work for now. Waiting for the Clonopin to kick in. Anyway, how are you, Star? Nice to see you here. My war with the widget emotes is continuing, in case you were wondering. But yeah, another time for that. We've already covered that. You know, I could do like the 5-finger fillet thing with this, but I won't. I'm pretty good at it. Right, I'll show you with a safer utensil. Let's say this nice steel chopstick. Okay. Ready? So first you have to prep. Okay. Not one miss. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still not dumb enough to do it with the knife though. Gave me a bit of anxiety. Like I said, that's why I even tried it with the blunter end of the chopstick as well. Like, yeah, see. I like doing things with my hands. I like, you know, expressing dexterity and whatnot. That was terrible. I want to learn knife throwing too. That'd be neat. Hello, Argon X Gaming. How are you doing? And Syndrome Noir. Hello, nice to have you both here. And yes, crabs, I still maintain that they are ugly bastards. But I specifically point at the Sebastian in The Little Mermaid. That was an ugly fuck. Then again, like all the stuff, all of those live action Disney movies have an ugliness in their own ways. And a corporate ugliness to them too. I like doing things with my hands. Yes, that could be read into in all kinds of ways. Like that. Do you know how to do this? Let's see if we get the noise. Or even more impressively. Ooh! Corporate Ugliness is an awesome name for a band. That is good. That's like the alternate name for Rage Against the Machine. Cute glitter nail polish. Hey, I'm not averse to it. Steve, speak of the devil. The Dio devil. How are you doing, Dio? Heard that you were looking for a economical gift from your mother. For Mother's Day, I assume. Try flowers. If there's a Trader Joe's near you, they sell very affordable flowers there, and they're very nice. Been watching people react to Who Framed Roger Rabbit recently. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, an absolute classic on a technical level, on a storytelling level, amazing film. Like the amount of work that they put into that movie is truly astounding. Just got back from berry picking. Ooh. Anyway, yes, hi folks, I'm working on my art for Kickstarter coming up. My brain is on fire, but things are progressing. Oh, wonderful. And yeah, by the way, Star, if you ever want to share links or anything in chat, you're more than welcome to. Okay, we'll probably get started. Or maybe I'm the only one who missed them if you sent them recently. Oops. Oh, we missed your drip photo. Oh, okay, you directed it, Dio. Okay. Okay. Let's go. So, ingredients-wise, we have light brown sugar, fully sealed in its container this time, so I'm not going to get blasted in the face. We also have all-purpose flour. We got a bit of salt. We got nutmeg. We got cinnamon. This one is Saigon cinnamon. I don't know the difference. And we have 6 apples here. We may not be using all of them. The recipe says to put about 525 grams of apples in there, peeled and sliced. But we might not have to because it has to fill this 8x8 tray or baking pan, whatever you want to call it, baking dish. And it needs to go about halfway up there. So it's kind of like however you prefer it. But this is a very, very simple recipe, and I highly encourage you to give it a try yourself because despite its simplicity, it is really wonderful. Also, equipment-wise, I have this pot here, which is on a stove, which we'll be using just for the custard. This is Bird's Custard, which is a long-standing classic in the UK. It's been around for about 100 years, I think. You can get this in like any kind of like international food stores, even if your supermarket has like an international section, and it's pretty damn cheap. And we're going to be using this food processor, the food processor as well. This can be made completely by hand if you want to, so we're not using a stand mixer today. But I will be using a few tricks to make this a much easier, much faster process. So with these apples, we'll start with these. Every single apple needs to be peeled and sliced into about, it's about 10 millimeter thickness in slices, but it can vary depending on what you are looking for in an apple. If you like bigger slices, go for it. If you like the smaller one, go for it. Sumi, thank you so much. How many memberships have you gifted now? Dennis Waters, USS Anime NCC 244, and Kiki, Imperial Young, and Q Balonek. All of you have just received a membership, all thanks to Sumi. Sumi, thank you so much, really. It does mean a lot to me. This is my form of charity. And I am a charity case, I won't lie. Okay, but yeah, thank you so much, Sumi. One of the most generous people out there. It is a cool form of charity. And not only that, it actually pays out better than Twitch does, because Twitch takes so much more money than YouTube does. As for the cats, actually, I have a cat right behind me, and I believe the phone camera should be working. Should be. Should be. Oh my god. I even set this up earlier and everything too. You fuck. 1 second, let me test something. I want the phone camera to be working just so, you know, I'm able to get some decent shots. Ah, there we go. Okay. Beat shot for my OnlyFans. There we go. There is Curie. All tucked up inside a little box. This box has become her new favorite home. Head in some packing paper. Hello. Say hi. Your eyes are looking scary. Yeah. Okay, I'll let you sleep. Bye-bye. All right. Okie doke. So, yes, we're here to bake. Let's see. Eat for free? I mean, I just got 5 memberships, so, you know, I'm feeling kind of generous right now. Yeah, those were kind of creepy eyes. I had the flash on the phone, so, yeah. Cats don't like that. Well, she doesn't mind. Dopamine acquired. All you need, a bit of Curie in your life. Gotta leave? Ah, that's a shame. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, Dio. Always appreciated. Always nice to see you. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you find a good gift for your mother. Remember Trader Joe's. They have excellent flowers there. I am not sponsored. All right. So we were gonna bake, or so I heard. So, like I said, we're gonna start off by slicing up some apples, and you gotta peel them too. Now, it's a bit of an arduous process as well, because obviously you gotta peel every single apple, and you have to slice it up. Then, you know, you gotta get the core out, make sure there's no seeds or anything like that. However, I'm all about efficiency when it comes to cooking and baking. Work smart, not hard. That's always my mantra. So, we will not, that was supposed to be way more dramatic than it was, I'm sorry. We will not be doing that. We'll be using another method. Sounds very int J of you. Funnily enough, I've taken the test, the Myers-Briggs, and I am an int J. And even though I have trashed the Myers-Briggs test in a past video of mine, but you know, it is bunk. What kind of apples? Ah, good question. Yeah, the kind of apples that we will be working with. So, traditionally, you make these with Granny Smith apples. Now me, I'm not a big fan of Granny Smith. When it's in this, it's fine because there's a lot of sweetness to it, but Granny Smiths are a bit too tart for my liking. But what we're using today is a very, very special apple. These are Cosmic Crisp apples. These are a very interesting apple because there's actually been something that's been worked on for the past 20 years. I believe it's a cross between a Honeycrisp and a Gala and a Fuji or something like that. But yeah, it's like this thing, like I said, they've been working on it for 20 years, like trying to genetically develop basically the perfect apple. And believe me when I say, this is the perfect apple. It has an incredible crispy texture. It is wonderfully sweet. It has that bit of tartness to it. It is like, the only way I can describe it is that it's what you would expect an apple to taste like. Like, if you'd seen apples in like a cartoon or something, and you know, like, it looks so delicious, like you've seen in a Disney cartoon, like those big generous bites and the juiciness to it. It's like that. It's close to being like a candy apple flavor. So yeah, it's wonderful. If you ever find Cosmic Crisp, buy them because they're amazing. Or better yet, steal them. That's good whiskey. We love Int P's P, that's the perceptive one, right? I was waiting for you to say Cosmic Crisp when you said Granny Smith is too tart. Yeah, like I said, Granny Smith in baking is generally fine, but combining Cosmic Crisp with a recipe like that, with this, or even like apple pie or apple turnovers, mind-blowing. It makes it so much nicer. If you don't have Cosmic Crisp, by all means, use Granny Smith, but if you're looking for something that's less tart, use something like a Honeycrisp, Fuji, Gala, anything with a red skin really. Like, all of that stuff generally veers on the sweeter side. I wouldn't recommend using Golden Delicious though, because Golden Delicious has a much, I guess, softer texture to it. And if you use a soft texture within baking, it can really just break it down a lot quicker. It ends up being closer to sludge. It doesn't hold its form, because any kind of fruit that has like a high amount of moisture in it, like apples do, the more you bake it or the hotter it is, the more it breaks down. So something like Cosmic Crisp and Granny Smith really holds their form better. I'll be glad to know how to make the custard. I made a crumble with my long distance girlfriend last time. I saw her and she was like, no custard. We do ice cream when I'm mostly, we do ice cream where I am mostly. To be honest, I prefer ice cream with it. It's a nice, you know, temperature contrast to it. And if you have apple crumble directly out of the oven, like, it is very hot. It takes quite a while to cool down. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, if you can find this Bird's Custard, which you can find like international sections of your supermarket or international stores, this is the easiest way to make it by far. If you do make it from scratch, which is basically just like, I think it's cornstarch, egg yolks, and some sugar inside of it. You also have to use milk, but use whole milk, because you need that extra fat inside of it for it to basically congeal and become more of syrupy. Because otherwise, no matter what you can do, it ends up, no matter how long you heat it for, it can end up just being like watery texture. All right, so as I said, we're not going to do all that peeling stuff, but we do need it peeled. So I have this little wonderful invention here. This is something that can peel, slice, and remove the core from an apple all at the same time. It's an incredible invention. If you like your apples peeled, if you like them to be something that can be presented, just like, you know, as part of a platter or something like that, or if you're making something like apple pie, I will demonstrate. So first of all, it needs to stick to the surface using a suction cup. So I am going to lightly moisten the surface that it's going to be on, just so it doesn't move around too much. And I'm going to get a little plate just to collect the juices. Okay, can I be seen well? I need to move my laptop, I think. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm just going to put this here. All right, that should be good. All right, so lock it in place. All right. There we go, locked in place. That seems good. So the way it works, very simple. Well, first of all, I need to release this latch. In fact, is it better overhead with this? Yeah, that might be better. Okay, release this latch, put it all the way down here, and then you, so you gotta keep this out of the way first, just so you have space. So you basically have to stick these intimidating looking spikes into the center, and you want to try and make it so it lines up with the top of the apple, because that's where it's going to be pushing the core out. So 1 second. Get in there. Okay. So, all right, here's where it gets interesting. So what you do is that you sort of hold this thing. This is going to be what peels your apple. And you just turn it like this. And then you sort of let this bit sit on the apple when it gets close enough to be peeled. And here we go. Here's the magic. So it's slicing it, peeling it, and removing the core all at the same time. Whoever made this deserves a Nobel Prize. And if you wanted to, there are some recipes out there that do use apple peel if you wanted to, so maybe you could do something with this. I don't know. Let me show you the results. As you can see, there is a very neat core just sat on there. I will definitely be washing my hands in a second. Yeah, so look at this. Try not to break it. Yeah, so that is all spiraled. Ooh. So instead of going through the whole process of, peeling them, slicing them to the right size and everything, you get a nice uniform cut on them. And yeah, it's a nice spiral if you wanted to do something with presentation there. But yeah, such a time saver. That saved us doing it this way has saved us probably 40 minutes or something. And then once that's done, very simple. You just slice it down 4 ways. Voila, apple slices. You just toss them inside of here. Make sure they're separated. Of course, you can't see them. 1 sec. You just toss them inside of this 8x8 baking tray. You can use something else, like if you have a pie, a pie container or something like that, or pie dish, whatever you want to call it. You can use that to just make sure there's at least 5 centimeters of height on this one. And there we go, first one down. I think I'll do 4 apples with this. Also, it doesn't matter if there's a bit of skin on the apple, that's perfectly fine. We're going to try and get a nice even layer with all of this. I realize I need to take off my wedding band because I don't want to get that sticky. Magic, right? Okay, so set this back again. And yes, you are right, Star. This is indeed the closest we can ever get to genuine witchcraft. Okay. Move that aside. Oh yeah, and like I said, this can all be done by hand. And it's naturally not that bad doing it by hand. It's not really strenuous or anything. But what I'm going to be doing to make the crumble part is I will be using a food processor, which I will explain when we get around to that bit. Someone say witchcraft. Gotta watch out saying that kind of thing around here. But I did. Sora, hello. Ooh, delish. Yes, this will be a wonderful treat for all, but mainly me and my wife. Okay, so let's get started on the second one once again. And it's good to keep up the speed as well. Two down. Lots of peel, a perfectly long string of peel. Slice it up. Also do have a look around and see if any of them are bruised or have seeds or anything like that, just to be sure you're not putting in a dud. I'll put that inside. You know, actually I don't need to break them up too much right now because I am going to be going in there finger style in a moment. I will say my least favorite form of baking is when you have to get your hands dirty. And I know a lot of baking requires that, but as someone who doesn't really like having dirty hands or sticky hands, it is a bit off-putting at times. Well, I'll try to use a technique. Oh, there goes a seed. Can't let a cat eat that or a tree will grow in their tummy. Which, as we all know, is 100% true. Okay, release this. Hashtag finger styles. Tremolo, hello, how are you doing? Sorry if I'm missing a few things right now, by the way. Just trying to get this done. Hang on. There we go. All right, apple number 3. Oh no, it came loose. Should be fine. Okay, no problem. Off it goes. Here's our apple peel spaghetti. Chat bubbles on the side is so cool. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a neat little thing. The only downside, as I was talking about earlier, is the fact that for some dumb reason it doesn't show the custom emotes that an artist very kindly made for me. Okay, slice these. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And just to illustrate the kind of slice sizes that I'll be using, this is about as thin as it gets. I like the nice thinner ones just because it gives it much lighter texture. Some people, when they eat apple crumble or apple pie, they like to have like that bit of extra crisp texture to it, just by having a larger sizer. I'm not a big fan of that, so yeah. Plus, this is the only size that this cuts as well, so my only other option would be to do it by hand, and I'm not going to do that. Also, if you do want one of these things, they're actually super cheap. They're like $13, $15, something like that, so yeah. If you're someone that's into your apples, I highly recommend it. Okay, so 1 second. This is how much. I'm trying to keep the back of this knuckle dry just so I can touch things without contaminating them. This is how much apple we have right now. It's a pretty decent surface, and you want to try and get it flat and packed in there just so you don't have too much of the crumble slipping through the cracks of society. Okay, might stop. We'll tell you what, let's see if I put these ones in here, see what happens. Make it rain. There's a bit too much skin on that, so I'll leave that out. Okay, so yeah, I think that should do. That was what, 3 apples inside of it? So yeah, 3 apples. And you know, if you have a bigger container, like if you have a 9x9 or a large pie tin, feel free to experiment with what you want to put in there. It's all up to taste, really. Luckily, this is a very flexible recipe, so you can experiment. Okay. Let me, oh God. I'll put that over here. Switch the roll cam. And I'm gonna wash my hands real quick just because they are very sticky now. Like I've been shaking hands with a toddler. In fact, here's a question for you all. A toddler, maybe a niece, nephew, or nibbling, if you're so inclined, approaches you and asks you, do you have any games on your phone/tablet? And they ask you as a follow-up, can I play on your phone/tablet? Do you say yes or do you say no? Bearing in mind that this little nibbling, this toddler, may have all manner of filth on their digits. What do you do? You have Fortnite on your phone? You have Raid Shadow Legends on your phone? Can I play on your phone? My hands are clean. I just ate an entire sticky bun earlier, and I definitely cleaned it. I just stuck my hand in the toilet earlier, but I cleaned it. Alright, just let me do a bit of cleanup. I'll be honest with you. My answer, an emphatic no. Like, I have never let a toddler or otherwise touch my phone screens because I'm like, nah. I don't want to let you use it and suddenly I end up being infected with some never been heard of before disease. Yet for all we know, that could have been how COVID got started. Let me catch up here. Oh wait. Let me get a towel to wipe up the juices. One sec. Right, let me move these apples over here. A bit of spray. Okay. I have to clean that as soon as possible just because I didn't want it to become sticky over time. Speaking of time, what time is it right now? 3 o'clock. Okay. Sorry, just catching up with the chat. Like I said, I'm sorry if you know, I'm not being too engaged with it. Difficult to do two things at once. But I do recognize that you're all here and participating, and I appreciate that. The phone is broken. Sorry, bro. Virginia, by any chance, are you someone that I already know? Curious about that. Just your name rings a bell. Also, I want to test as well. I want to do another little test because I'm trying to ultra low latency mode on YouTube streaming. Before, it was the case where like it would be about 5, 7, maybe 8 seconds until I would like be heard by the audience. But I want to see how long it takes now. So, as a test, if you don't mind, what I would like you to do is just put like a letter saying, or like type in the chat, just type bang, but don't hit enter yet, don't hit send yet. So as soon as I slam my hand on the table, that is when I want you to send it, all right? And if multiples want to say it or type it in, you're more than welcome to. So get ready. Remember, put bang in the box, bang the box. Terrible. And then hit send as soon as I hit it down, okay? I'll do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's about 4 seconds. Not too bad. I can live with that. Bang the box. You want to play with the camera focus? Oh, wait, go ahead if you feel like it's off. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. It's perfectly fine. My wife is just going to try and focus the camera a bit more. But yeah, if you just hit like the autofocus thing, it should be all right. I think. Is your stream set to 1080p? Okay. Okay, I mean, you know, if it's autofocused, it's got a face to focus on, or at least some semblance of a face. Okay, good. Right. Yeah, 4 seconds is workable. It's better than it was before, I will say that. But thank you very much for participating in that. Greatly appreciated. I don't think so. I live in Argentina and it's my first stream. Oh, okay. No, like I said, your name is very, very close to someone that I used to chat to every now and then. Yes, that person. All right, so next part. So yeah, this is our apples. How do you like them apples? Haha, etc. Funny and original. So this, obviously we're not just gonna do apples, we need some more flavor. So we have some light brown sugar here, or if you're in the UK, it will be golden caster sugar. So we're gonna need 2 tablespoons of this. And I'm going to do 2 generous tablespoons here, so I'm going to be overfilling the tablespoon a little bit, not flattening it. So just sprinkle that over it a bit. Big clump. 2. And you know what? A little bit more for luck. Okay, and that's the basics of our filling. That's according to the recipe where we stop, but I'm going to be adding a little bit of this Saigon cinnamon too. Let me just get a tiny spoon for this one. So with cinnamon, be cautious about how much you use. If you overdo cinnamon with a dish as small as this, it can be bad. Like if you put in, say, like a teaspoon or above with cinnamon, it can get very, very overpowering. I mean, some of you might be into that, but I'm just using a 1/4 teaspoon in this case. I'm gonna try and be careful with its distribution. And we're going to be mixing this all up by hand as well. Like I said, if you're not a fan of cinnamon, just don't use it. It can be perfectly fine. But I will also be adding a touch of ground nutmeg too. Oh, comes with a nice little sprinkler on it, doesn't it? That's nice. All right, so I'm just going to eyeball this. Okay, that should be good. Nutmeg doesn't smell great on its own. It has to be mixed into something sweet. Okay. Let me just catch up. Okay, so many of you, it seems, would not give your phone/tablet to a toddler. Perfectly understandable. I am on your side. I cussed my father out for getting my daughter an iPad without my consent, and he's in tech, so he knows better. I mean, you know, that's kind of how it works these days. You get them hooked early as possible. And I don't have children, but for me, I feel like I'd be a little bit reluctant to get them involved and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm sure they just keep pestering as well, just because all the kids at school have iPhones and all that stuff, so yeah. I'm the type of person that already has games. Every single device I own, most of the games that I play aren't too popular. I'll say, yes, just use the games folder, not the rest of the folders. Yeah, that's fine, you know. I'm talking more about the germ side of things, though. I'm not giving my phone to a toddler, but not just because of the dirty hands, but because those little guys will find a way to spend your money, delete half the apps and photos, and install an 80 gigabyte game. Or worse, games that are just like some fucking crypto farm or something like that. Didn't know you nibbling was Steve Jobs. Learn something new every day. Also, hello, Hawaiian Juice Box. Nice to have you here. Hawaiian Juice Box, one of the refugees from Twitch. How's it going? Still remember second grade when I let my phone read my Teen Titans comic while eating waffle sticks. It was a ball of anxiety for him to get, waiting for him to get syrup all over it. Yeah, I like, when it comes to magazines and stuff like that, like I used to buy gaming magazines all the time, and like I tried to keep them in good condition, but other people didn't feel that way. So let me see if I can get someone to illustrate. So with me, like opening pages of stuff, carefully does it, you know? Make sure it's flat. Make sure there's no contaminants on the side. Don't put like a sweaty thumb on the ink or anything just to leave an imprint there. You know, be gentle. But I would always hate it when someone decided to look at one of my magazines or books or whatever, and they would do this. Let me see if I can overhead this. They do this, where they like put a crease in that. Like just go over it like that way. Because that crease stays there. And I was like, well, you've ruined it now, haven't you? And some people would be very, very aggressive with that crease. Oof. Probably should have realized at that point in my life I have ADHD. I'm off hanging out with everyone. Has been fun. Have a good one. Argon, thank you very much for stopping by. Always appreciated. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here. And as someone with ADD, I actually did better just doing one or two simple things as a kid, just listening to music and singing, or just playing with Barbies, etc. Never both at once. Yeah, I used to be way more focused when I was a kid about keeping my act together and just doing one thing, especially video games. Like these days, if I play on my PC, I end up just having to have something else going on in the background. And yeah, these days, can't do that. Well, I have to do that, sorry. Hey everyone, just chilling here while I fold lab coats at work. Ooh. Hello, Chlorophyllus. How are you doing? I'm gonna get in with my hands. I need to take off my wedding band again. What kind of lab do you work in, if you don't mind my asking? My wife, she works for a lab. What would you call your role again? What's your role in your lab again? Okay, my wife is a variant analyst. She works in cancer research. But obviously, since I'm a YouTuber, what I do for a living is way more important than that. Okay, so here was what we're going to do. We got the cinnamon, we got the nutmeg, and of course we got the brown sugar inside of this. So, got to get messy again and move this all around just to make sure that it is evenly coated. Ugh. Like I said, messy hands is my least favorite part of baking. I work for a lab too. I just do behind the scenes, ordering though, nothing hands-on. I see. I mean, either way is noble stuff. Labs help medicine, and you know, no matter what your role is inside of it, it helps someone in some way. I listen to jazz when I draw sometimes, or watch a TV show while drawing. That's what I need to sort of do to get back into drawing. Like I've been meaning to get back into drawing for a while now. I have some ideas for what I want to draw, even though it would just be using reference artwork. But yeah, it always ends up being one of those things that I end up not returning to well. By the way, if you hear a noise in the background, that is Curie trying to scratch herself against some paper. You okay? Okay. Okay, this looks like a good enough coating. Make sure that obviously you can see the seasoning and the sugars. I mean, you probably won't be able to see the sugars at this point, but you will be able to feel it like a grainy texture on your hand, but it's still there. Drawing, yes. When I was a teenager, edgy teenager, I used to draw all the time. I liked drawing with inks in particular, so it would just be black. And I also liked drawing with a brush pen every now and then, which was crazy difficult. Let me switch the camera. I'm trying to control this with my knuckle. Yeah, so two of my favorite artists around that time, actually three of my favorite artists. Two of them largely used ink. So first of all was Yoji Shinkawa, who, if you don't know, is the designer of the Metal Gear Solid series. And he had some incredible artwork. Oh, hello, Curie. He had some incredible artwork that he used a brush pen for. Such a tremendous amount of detail in stuff that looked like it had almost been drawn hastily. And I really love that style. Secondly was an artist called Bengus. Now, hands up if you've heard of Bengus, because I get the feeling none of you probably have. But Bengus is a Japanese artist who did the artwork for like early 2000s, late 90s Capcom games. And you know, when I was growing up, like I tried to catch up with all of the stuff that was being released over the years. Like I got really into fighting games. I was like looking up which are the best fighting games. You know, like Street Fighter 3rd Impact, Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter Alpha. And I really, really loved the style of Bengus. It's like very simplistic, but at the same time, it also has like a good amount of communication about like what that character's about, like how strong they are, how soft they are, etc., etc. So yeah, if you're ever interested, look up Bengus. Mysterious fellow, no one knows who he really is, but his artwork is fantastic. And the pen that I used to use, I used an ink pen, and it was and let me know if you've heard of this, a Rotring pen, R-O-T-R-I-N-G, had like a fountain tip nib, and it was very, very thin. Really nice pens. Yuri is waiting for butter to enter the picture. She won't have to wait long. I just washed my hands. Why did I do that? Okay, so this, like I said, has to be nice and flat. I don't want to touch it anymore, so I'm going to be a little bit lazy here and just put a layer of paper towel over it while I press it and hope that it doesn't absorb through it. It already has. Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, make sure it's a nice flat surface because the crumble is going to go on the top of it. Yeah, I had a hero. I had a feeling that none of you would have heard of Bengus. All right, so what time is it? 3:15. So before we do the crumble, actually no, I'll wait for my break because the crumble is very easy to do. So with the crumble, what we need is more light brown sugar, 175 grams of plain flour, and 110 grams or 1 stick of cold butter. You will see why it needs to be cold in a moment, because this is how we mix the crummies. Sorry, I just got to open a fresh packet here. Okay. Unsalted butter as well, for clarification. Okay, so this is where the food processor comes into play. Well, actually I do need the wind scale. Actually I need some bowls. That'll do. All right. So 175 grams of AP flour, or plain flour. Also, it turns out that British namings for flours are different than the US. In the US, plain flour is all-purpose flour, and bread flour is strong flour in the UK. Difference between them is that bread flour has a much higher protein count inside of, or protein content inside of it, so it's better at forming bonds with yeast than all-purpose flour is. 175, perfect. Beep. Okay, 175, I'm gonna put 110 grams of this light brown sugar inside of it. And by the way, you don't need to sift any of this. It doesn't matter. 110. It's good. Don't. Okay. Got to fish this out now without getting the flour in. This is fun. Bear with me, because that was over 100 grams more than is necessary. You want to make gods laugh? Make a plan. Okay, 154. Getting harder to do now because it's getting closer to the flour. Okay. 130. Like I said, I gotta get this to 110. Alright, I can live with 130, that should be okay. It will give the crumble a bit more hardness to it, but shouldn't be an issue. Let me open the chat. Let me catch up. I draw my phone with my finger. I remember, what was the name of that app? There was an app that was crazy popular a few years back where it was like Pictionary. You know, you had to like send pictures to friends or something like that. But that got me sort of like interested in that stuff. But I could never draw with my finger. I remember I even bought a stylus for it as well. Didn't help. All right, I'm gonna put a generous pinch of salt in this as well. Generous. Okay, so that's all together. We don't need to mix it or anything. So what we are going to do, by the way, sorry if I'm quiet, I've got some new K-pop albums and I'm unboxing them. It's lovely to have you in the background still, by the way. Oh, no problem, I understand. People got stuff to do. You want to say something? Oh, you're making Victoria Sponge, Tremolo. You must share that when you're done. I was actually planning on making a Victoria Sponge on the stream at some point because Victoria Sponge is yet another classic. But yeah, be sure to share. Are you putting whipped cream inside of it with jam? You're doing frosting? Okay, so need to slice up some of this butter, or as some might say, butter. Where is my knife? Where's my knife? I'll get another knife. You know what? That'll do. Yeah, like I said, if any of you ever do any bakes, by all means, share them in the Discord. If you ever want advice on baking, ask, and I will more than likely respond. You know, people have joked on the Discord for a while now that if you ever want to get me talking, either talk about baking or guitars, and then you won't be able to stop me. So yeah, we're going to be dicing up this butter here. Reason why is just because it's going to make it easier to cut it up even more. I'll do one down the middle. And just make sure they're separated. I'm trying not to handle it too much because obviously I don't want to warm it up with my body heat. Okay. Okay, so if you were to do this the normal way, or if you were to do it without equipment, what you would be doing now is placing these cubes of butter inside of this, and you basically just be like scrunching it with your fingers and then sprinkling it down. You're trying to break it up into a breadcrumb texture. But since I'm a lazy bastard, I'm going to be using a food processor instead. So we can just throw this all in there. I've got it set up with a blade attachment. Don't spill over the sides, please. One sec. Let me wipe my fingers. I hate butter being on my fingers. So horribly greasy. Okay. A little bit of a hang on there. Looks like this flour absorbed some of the moisture from the brown sugar, so it ended up sticking to the surface. It's fine now. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna blast this for a few seconds. Wait, I need to put the butter in there. Put the cold butter inside of it, 110 grams. And I'm gonna shake it a little bit. Okay. Shall I mute this? I can't remember. We've done this before. Is Apple Brown Betty the same thing? Sort of. Its closest comparison, I'd say, would be Apple Crisp. Because Apple Crisp usually uses mostly oats inside of it. And you know, you can put things like cranberries or raisins or whatever it is. But yeah, that's its closest counterpart, I believe. Yeah, Apple Brown Betty is a lot more gooey. All right, I'm gonna pulse this. If it is too loud, I'm gonna try it once. And if it's too loud, just let me know so I can mute my microphone right away. It won't take long though. So I'll try it once. Ready? How was that? Mute. Okay, I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay, we're back. So this is the kind of texture that you want with this one. Let me give you the overhead. So yeah, this is the texture you want. Like I said, close to being breadcrumbs. You can't overdo it because it will all start coagulating or whatever you want to call it. It'll just start becoming one big mass. You want it to be like a breadcrumb texture. So that is done. Let me move this very sharp blade away. And then very simply, like I said, just make sure that it's nice and flat on this surface. And then we're just going to pour it over the top. You don't have to use all of it if you don't want to. You know, if you feel like it's going overboard, if you feel like there's an imbalance between the layers, you know, you want one bigger than the other one, perfectly fine to not use it all. I really love the crumble part personally, so we'll see how much this container can handle. You know, just use your hand or a spatula to distribute it. You want a complete layer of coverage over this one, so right to the edges. And try and get it flat as well, even if the surface underneath isn't so flat. And so that no apple slices are peeking out. I will say as well, I like eating this crumble raw. I mean, sugar and butter, you know, it works. Okay. And we'll do a light bit of decorating here. Obviously there's not too much you can do with this, but you can do a little something. Add some more crumbles. Yeah, I can't imagine, like I said, if any noises are too much for some people, it's perfectly fine to ask for a mute. You know, the thing is, I want to one day make a recipe on stream which has meringue in it. So like I'd really like to make either a pavlova or macarons or something like that. But the thing is, those use meringue, and meringue requires me to put it in a stand mixer for about 15 minutes. And it is very, very loud when you do that. Because it's just the top setting on the stand mixer for 15 minutes. The only thing I can think of in that situation is to, I don't know, just set up a shot showing that this is what's happening right now. I'll be back when it's ready. But I know that doesn't make for the most entertaining of stream viewing. Okay, so what we're gonna do with this, very simple. I'm just gonna do a little bit of decoration. Get a fork, if you have one. And we're simply going to just make some lines over it. So you can do whatever you want. You can just do some vertical lines or horizontal, depending on your perspective. I'm going to drag, nope, that doesn't work. I'll tell you what, I'm going to drag it over this way just so it loosens it up a little bit. I'm going to put a bit more crumbage in this area because it does feel very close to the apple there. So I want to just make it look a bit rougher, just because, you know, this is crumble. You want it to look like crumbs. But yeah, part of it is you want to make sure that it is covered. That way the apples underneath cook properly, because, you know, it's sort of sealing them in. You want them to caramelize. That's where the magic happens, the caramelization. This fork isn't very good for shape, so I will leave it be. I will leave it looking nice and crumbly instead. Because that looks good to me. That's how apple crumble is supposed to look. So a little extra thing that you can do is you can throw some oats in it if you want to. You can put like rolled oats. In fact, let me ask, do you want oats in this? You can sprinkle it on top as well. It's up to you, because I'm going to put a bit of turbinado sugar on it too. Okay, so I'm going to be putting some turbinado sugar on it. This is like a dark brown sugar that has a very nice crisp texture to it. And my hands are too greasy to tear it open. But this is a very nice garnish for foods that use dark sugar. Anything that uses like apple or even pear or something like this. But don't use too much of it. Yeah, turbinado is great. What was that alert? Oh, thank you for subscribing, Victor. Here's Necker. Is that right? Yeah, turbinado is great. Turbinado and demerara are particularly nice with coffee. Okay, that should be good. All right. So, this is basically done. 1 second. We got a little bit of crumble left. Charles? Charlie? 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 Hello? 1 second, I'm about to debase myself. Sugar, flour, butter, how can you go wrong? Bird's custard indeed, yes. Yeah, Charles Brown here is a lifelong friend of mine. How are you doing? Nice to have you here, Charlie. Been keeping well? Feels kind of weird now, like having someone that you know watching you, but it's fine, Charlie, you're welcome to stay. All right, so with this, this is basically ready to go into the oven. We're gonna be putting it inside my Ninja oven. And we'll be there for about 35 to 40 minutes, probably 35 minutes just because it cooks a lot quicker. What temperature does it say? 190 Celsius. What is 190 Celsius in Fahrenheit? 1 second. 375, so 375, we'll do it that one. Okay, so let's bang this in the oven. But it would be good if you can get German rock cane sugar and fresh pulse, because it still has molasses in it. Oh, I've never heard of that before. Yes, my friend, love to you and Danielle. Keep on baking. Thank you very much. I will continue baking this. Let's see how things turn out. I mean, do you like apple crumble, Charlie? I can't remember if we ever had the apple crumble talk in the past before. Is it bacon if you don't taste test the bits between? Yeah, I mean, that's part of the process, you know. So yeah, we're gonna put this in this fantastic little oven, which preheats in like a minute. Can you see over there? Whoop. Hi, Curie. Set that to bake. And what was it, 35 minutes? Yeah, it's a bit of a lengthier bake time, and that's just because the apples need to caramelize properly. So here we go. Godspeed. Okay, well, that's the good part down. After that, we're going to be making the custard, and I need to go use the bathroom in a moment. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick. In the meantime, does anyone have a question of the day that might be useful so I can pin it? In fact, I might, because YouTube's chat has a Q&A thing, so I want to test that. So if someone wants to give me a question of the day, we can give that a try. Best type of cheese. Okay, that can work. Let me try this out. Start a Q&A. So let's say, what's your favorite cheese? All right. Did that just, I thought it just like erased the entire chat then. Okay. So yeah, let's see how that works. Yeah, so you should see at the top of the chat, there's a Q&A thing that's just popped up. Like I said, I'm gonna go take a little break now to clean stuff up and get myself situated, make some more tea. But yeah, I'll see you in about 4-5 minutes, something like that. But yeah, I will see you. I said but yeah like 20 times there. But yeah, I will see you in about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm gonna play some ads in the meantime too. In fact, it's gonna start soon, so yeah. See you soon. I went into the bathroom and I didn't want a mishap. You didn't want another kind of stream. Again. What are you meowing at? What's up? What? Did you hear that by any chance? That was adorable. Don't start attacking me when I look away. Yes, yes, you're adorable. Gonna be on the camera. Let's get you set up. Assuming this works. There we go. There she is. Fury. Hello. You. Look at all that fluff. Don't attack. Don't. You saw that, right? No. No. Don't want this kind of relationship with you. You got me then. I'll take away your Minecraft account. There we go. Being nice. Jesus. See, like right now, I can see you like looking. You can leave. Shame on you. Jesus. One moment sweet, next moment trying to kill you. Anyway, Jesus. Alright, what type of cheese? Oh god. Let me wash this under the tap because she did get me a bit there. No, it's not that bad. I just see a little bit of a graze. Go away, Curie. You've lost your privileges. Yep. Oh my god. No, it's not. She's right here. Anyway, let's see. Gouda. Stop trying to get... Oh my god. Get in my fucking tea. Walk over the keyboard. Ruin my life. This world isn't just for you, Curie. It's for everyone. Don't push over the Pyrex jug. This is starting to feel spiteful now. Anyway, Low Waste says, I'll go with Humboldt. Stay away from the pan. Oh my, the pot, whatever, you don't know what it is. Gouda. I've never tried Gouda, I've never tried Humboldt. But then again, I gotta admit, I'm not a huge cheese fan. Mozzarella, classic. I always like mozzarella. And Swiss. I do like Swiss if it's in a sandwich or something like that. That can be really nice. I don't like strong cheeses, you know, like cheddar and the like, and that stuff with like the blue veins in and all that shit. Puts me off a bit. So the Q&A, yeah, I didn't know how the Q&A was. I didn't realize it was going to prompt you to ask me a question. But, you know, if you want to, that's perfectly fine too. I'm okay with that. But yeah, mozzarella is my favorite versatile cheese, but lately I'm on a Colby Jack cheese because I don't get it often. I don't think I've tried that either. I've heard white cheese is the healthiest. White cheese, like ricotta, something like that. I like white cheese in, or white cheeses in baking, surprisingly. Like for example, cannolis, like ricotta is amazing with that. But yeah. My mum makes cheese marinated in olive oil and herbs for her family get-together. It's cheap and so tasty. That does sound good. What kind of cheese does she use? Is it like solidified or melted cheese? All cheese is fatty and therefore you should just eat whatever you like because it's going to do the same thing regardless. But you know, the taste. Want to make it even cheaper, you can do it in a regular sunflower oil. My colleague friends love it. Extra sharp cheddar. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff where it's like it's too powerful for me. British population threatened. Reason, Curie. He is a threat. When she's in the mood, he's a threat. And yes, her Minecraft account will be taken away. Now she's licking the butter dish. Butter dish. She is beautiful but deadly. Like a femme fatale, that one. This feels like Bob Ross but with baking. With baking and a vicious cat trying to rip my hand off. Ungrateful for the pets. You saw her. I have video proof there. I have the receipts. She was trying to remove me from this planet. You get hair in my tea. Okay, good. No. Humboldt Frog is the only American cheese to win international competitions. Oh. I wouldn't have even guessed that it was American, to be honest. That sounds like a very British name. The British lost a good man today, yes, and unfortunately they still have James Corden. From California and it's goat cheese. Oh, my wife might like that because she's a big fan of goat cheese. Anyone ever had Baby Bell cheese? Baby Bell, I'm not a big fan of, but I remember the first time I tried it when I was a kid, and I just like the idea of the packaging and the nice peel thing that you go through. So I really wanted to like it. So my mother ended up getting some. I unpeeled it, and I just didn't like it. I was a little bit heartbroken because I thought, damn, this is cool, but I don't actually like it. Like opening a Kinder Egg and realizing that you don't like it, but I can't imagine anyone that doesn't like Kinder Eggs. And Americans won't even know what a Kinder Egg tastes like. Well, my wife knows because I accidentally smuggled some into the country once. My dad came through with a compression wrap, bless. Oh, wonderful. I might have missed it earlier. What do you need the wrap for? American is good for burger. Cheddar, I find, is best for pasta. Yeah, like you can actually, because everyone always says like American sliced cheese for like burgers. They always say like it's full of garbage, it's unnatural. But you can find stuff that's actually very like, you know, organic and not loaded with weird stuff or anything like that. In fact, once again, Trader Joe's. I am not sponsored by them. I just get my groceries from there. They have American sliced cheese, and they do call it a pasteurized processed cheese product. But the ingredients on that one is very simple. Organic pasteurized milk, water, organic non-fat dry milk, contains 2% or less of disodium phosphate, salt, cheese culture, microbial enzyme, sodium citrate, organic annatto extract for color, lactic acid, vitamin A, palmate. And that's really it that's very, very low on the ingredient count. Curie, you're gonna have to move. And I don't like the idea of you contaminating all this area. The adorableness has a diminishing returns, Curie, especially since I'm about to use this very hot thing. Love Kinder Eggs. I hurt my ankle, Salari, as well. Oh, Jesus, I hope it's all right. Is the compression working? Have you seen a doctor about it? Don't even have Kinder bars in the US, tragic. We do have like Buenos inside it, and we have like some of the other Kinder bar stuff. We don't have the hippos, which is a tragedy because the hippos are amazing. But yeah, the Kinder Eggs here, we sort of have Kinder Eggs, but it's this weird thing where it's like, it's a thing that's the shape of an egg. One side is hollow, and this is just the packaging, bear in mind. And the other side has some soft chocolate, almost like pudding in it, which is the chocolate of the Kinder Egg. And it comes with like a little spoon so you can scoop it up and everything, but it's not the same. It does have the toy there, but you know, the reason why Kinder Eggs were banned in the US was because of the capsule, not the toy itself, because they're afraid that dumb kids are going to be out there swallowing an entire capsule, which I can't imagine has happened anytime ever. But you know, it's a normal country where Kinder Eggs can be banned, but a 6-year-old can be trusted with a pistol, so that speaks for itself, I guess. The Hemingway quote was about him describing his cats. Yeah, he is a machine of chaos, that one. Pulling her ears back when you talk about her, she looks like, but she still looks the other way. He has got a sassiness to her. Like, she's just one of those cats that will just like flip, you know, suddenly just have enough of being stroked. And maybe she realizes she's got an audience here. I've not, it just happened last night. I think it's a low-grade sprain, will probably heal on its own. Thankfully, I'm just glad it's not any worse. I'm glad too, yeah. You know, could have been something nastier, like a break or something like that. Yeah, good. Sorry, just messing with some settings. Okay, so we're gonna make the custard now. We have 13 minutes left on the apple crumble, which is perfectly fine. How does it look? Right, let's get a nice phone camera shot real quick. Yeah. You see inside, nice and bubbly. That's the caramelization in action. And at the top, it's hard to get a shot of, you know, can't get a shot of that. Yeah, the top will be getting nice and brown inside there. But yeah, that bubbling, that's where the magic happens. When I take it out, it will continue bubbling for a little bit, but that is perfectly normal. You gotta let it sit for about 20 minutes or so before you try it, unfortunately. Okay. All right, so we're gonna be doing the custard next. Now, custard, like I said, you can make it from scratch, but I'm gonna be lazy and use Bird's custard instead. I'm careful opening this because, wait, this is sealed. Oh, this is the one that your mother got us, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, let me find the one that's already opened. Where are you at? Sorry, just going through the pantry. Ooh, Marmite. Anyone here a fan of Marmite? And follow-up question, why? Or Vegemite, if you know it by another name. I got a jar of it just to keep in the cupboard for people who are curious about the taste. So yeah, I'm always just like, you know, hey, have you tried Marmite before? Maybe give it a go. What's bubbly? The liquids inside of the apple crumble is bubbling, caramelizing. Okay, I'm gonna be careful opening this because whenever I open something like powdered, especially with cornstarch in, it just ends up flying out. There we go. Cornstarch sticks to anything, it flies on. It's very annoying. Okay, let me double check the instructions. Let me double check the instructions on the other one because that one's obscured by a stupid sticker. Okay. Mix in 2 heaped tablespoons of custard powder with 2 tablespoons of sugar in the saucepan. Okay, so 2 heaped means it needs to be going over the edge. 1. My wife is a huge fan of custard, so one of the main reasons why I chose to make apple crumble is because it's been a while since she's had anything with custard inside of it. Right, and we need, this is the pot that I use for sugar in the tea. And what was it again? 2 tablespoons of sugar as well. Okay. 1, 2, I need a bit more because those weren't full. There we go. I forgot to check how much sugar I had before this stream. Gotta go again. Time to go to bed soon. Talk to you guys later. Enjoy the finale of the stream. Thank you very much for stopping by, Sumi, and thank you very much for the memberships again. You are so very generous. Very grateful to you. Hope you have a good night. Talk to the cats and the wife. Not to Kiri though, she's been mean. But yeah, take care, Sumi. Thanks for being here. Ooh, that's still pretty hot. All right. So we're gonna need around a pint of milk. I'm gonna be, let's see. Yeah, this takes about 500 mils. I always hate pouring from a fresh bottle of milk. Feels like it gets everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna have to eyeball this a bit. I should do. Okay, I believe I need to put a little bit in there first. Yeah, so add a little bit, approximately 2 tablespoons to the pan, and stir it to form a smooth paste. Why is there something weird inside this milk? Do not know what that is. Okay, so oof, almost spilled over there. I put about 2 tablespoons of milk in here. So what it's going to do is we're actually going to form a paste inside of this first, sort of a starter. If you find that it's too difficult to make a paste from it, you can gradually add a little bit of extra milk as you're going along. I'll just get a paper towel so I can keep liquids off the counter. Anyone else had Rita's custard? Yes, yeah, as my wife just said, we had it just the other day. It's fantastic. I had the chocolate with hot fudge inside of it. It's really good. The concrete. Okay, so I think okay, so I'm going to stir this until it becomes sort of a paste. And get that angle right on the camera. I really need to get one of those like gooseneck camera things or gooseneck tripods for the webcam up here. Just because right now, I don't know if you can tell, but it's just on a regular tripod that I've got on its lowest settings. So yeah, I need to try and get one of those. Maybe I can get it as a holiday present or something. Who knows? Oh yeah. Okay, this might be a bit too much liquid to make it a paste. So I'm gonna add a touch more of the powder. Teaspoon. Like I said, it does have to be a paste texture. And even though it looks particularly orange right now, it will be a very pale color once we get to it. Let me double check something. Heat teaspoons, okay. Might have needed to be more heat. Ah, there's a bit of powder stuck in the corners, maybe that'll help. I'm gonna put a touch more in there. There's a problem with heaped teaspoon measurements. Like, we all have different versions of heaped. Same thing with like cup measurements and all that stuff. Like, that's why I always say it's better to use metric instead, because, you know, say for example, if you had a cup of flour, you could have it like tightly packed, which could have more flour than you need. You could have it loosely packed, which doesn't have enough. And you can have it heaped, which also cannot be enough. You can have it heaped and packed as well. So yeah, there's no like proper measurement for it, whereas grams is just what it is. There is no debating it. Oh yeah, did anyone put a question in for the Q&A thing? It didn't show up. Okay. Odd. Actually. Yeah, it's weird. Okay. Never mind. Pardon me. I think I need to turn up the AC a bit. I'm getting quite warm. We just lower it by like 0.5 or something. Okay. This should do. It's not quite a paste, but it'll be enough. So we're going to pour the rest of this milk into it. And hopefully it won't do that annoying thing where it trickles down the side of the jug. Good. You know what I'm talking about, right? You start pouring and it just starts going that way. Physics just suddenly says fuck you and it makes a mess, yeah. Alright, so now I'm going to turn up the temperature on the stove, and we're just going to keep mixing constantly. I'm going to change the angle because it's going to get quite boring. Yeah, so we're just going to keep mixing, use a spatula, use a whisk, whatever it might be. I prefer using a spatula just because it is less chance of it damaging the pot itself. And I'm going to sit too because my back's starting to hurt. Ugh. So how are you? After that, try the gelati. The mixed stuff together is really good. I do like a gelati, I won't lie. I remember, like, we live in an apartment complex, and excuse me, they don't do it so much these days, but the people that run the complex would arrange for food trucks to come around. And one sec. They'd arrange for food trucks to come around. You know, they'd have like just like a hot dog cart, or you know, just like sandwiches, whatever it might be. They don't do it very often these days, just because they're a bunch of fucking cheapskates. But one time they had a gelato truck come around, and Jesus Christ, was it overpriced? Like, how much was it for a small gelato? Do you remember? Yeah, it was like $7 for a small single scoop of gelato, and the real kicker was it wasn't that good. So yeah, I fully regret spending any money on that truck. That's the kind of thing that's always annoyed me about food trucks. Like, you know, I know that food trucks are a big thing and everything, and it's a great way for someone to have a business without having to rent a physical location and everything. But like, you'd think that with food trucks, that it would be the kind of thing where the food is cheaper because they don't have as many overheads. You know, they got low staff, they can go wherever the action is, and they don't have to pay rent. I mean, yeah, there's like insurance fees and all that kind of stuff. It's not completely overhead free. But still, it ends up being the case where like so many of them just like charge ungodly prices for stuff that would be much cheaper in a brick and mortar shop. food trucks are very expensive. They cost about 120K to buy and fit. Yeah, the investment is definitely high. I do understand that, you know, you can end up having to retrofit a truck and everything. But yeah, it's still just one of those things that's always bothered me. It feels like it's more prices that are made to sort of take advantage of like middle/upper middle class urban professionals, that kind of thing, where they're just like, you know, oh, it's artisanal bullshit. Sure, I'll pay $50 for that. My favorite pizza place sells gelati for around $10. Our favorite pizza place doesn't excel in desserts, as far as I'm aware. We've never had. I swear we've had a cannoli from there. Oh. I might be gaslighting myself. We do have some nice orange sherbet inside of the freezer right now. I gotta stretch. Okay. So yeah, with this, like I said, it's fairly boring. But I'm just stirring and stirring and stirring until it starts thickening. You'll know when it happens. And you can't stop stirring, unfortunately, because if you let milk in a pot sit, it will burn very quickly. My stomach's starting to hurt, and it's a weird one because a few years back I got my gallbladder removed, and I have, let me show, I have an incision scar right here. It's like quite long, it's like this wide on there. This wide on there. And whenever I'm near like a heat source, like if I'm cooking or something, every now and then it'll start acting up. It just like reminds me of it or something. It's genuine pain, it's not just like a memory. But yeah, it ends up feeling really uncomfortable. I just deal with it, it's fine. And also from that surgery, I lost all feeling in my belly button. Weird one, that. But part of it is, I believe, because like a gallbladder removal is supposed to be a very quick in and out surgery. It's supposed to take less than an hour, and it's like the second simplest and second most common abdominal surgery that a person can have. Most popular and easiest being a hysterectomy. But they had complications during mine where my gallbladder fell apart as they were taking it out. So they ended up spending 4 whole hours rooting around my abdomen trying to pick up stones. I'm sorry if that's kind of gross for people. I understand it's a bit gross. Scar pain / discomfort is so weird. It is a weird one, yeah, I didn't expect it. Also, another weird one, like I said, I have no feeling in my belly button, but I also have no feeling in this part of my thigh. I know it's obscuring it, but like just right here, if you can figure that out. But yeah, I have like no feeling there. It's completely numb. I asked about it and they just said like, oh, you must have had nerve damage, and it's never returned. My favorite thing to eat is either spinach pizza slices or spinach calzones. My wife loves spinach. She usually has spinach salads when she has one, but yeah, can't admit to being a spinach fan myself, unfortunately. Pizzas, like, I'm kind of limited in what I can have because I love pepperoni pizza, but I've stopped eating pork on ethical grounds. So there's not too much I can have, really. I just end up having cheese pizzas. I don't like pineapple on pizza. I don't begrudge anyone who does like it. It's perfectly fine. Maybe like chicken or something like that. I don't know. But chicken on pizza always ends up being like too dried out, I've found. I can't really do much pizza, but I go to the New Yorker own shop when I want a slice. They don't have the right water, but the pie is good. I've never been to New York yet, but one of the big things I'd want to do in New York is fill up on pizza. It's stuck, but it's wild that the body is like that. This was messed with years ago, but it still aches. Yeah, it might be just something that's there for life. Like I said, it's not a big deal, really. But, you know, it always ends up, almost always ends up showing up when I'm like at the stove doing something like this. See what I mean by this taking long to foam up? This is basically just milk that I'm stirring right now. It will happen though. Yeah, I need to get this out. So let's see. I'm gonna have to ask my wife to do this. She doesn't like to be on camera. So let's see. Could you do this with the angle being it is? Are you okay with that? You're wearing a very large poncho. Okay. Sorry, my wife is camera shy and I need to get that apple crumble out of the oven so it can start cooling. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it start to foam up. And there is no sexual innuendo there at all. If you can put on a wire rack as well, please. Chicken bruschetta parm is like my favorite pizza. If I go to a Italian restaurant these days, my choices generally gravitate between cheese pizza or some form of chicken parm, like a chicken parm sub. I go ape shit over that. So damn good. Oh. And there's a place nearby us that has something, I don't know whether this is just something that they do or if it's something that's like a thing, but it's called Grandma's Pie. And it's like a square, you know, Sicilian style pizza that has cheese as the base and like blobs of fresh mozzarella around it, some sauce poured on the top of it, some basil and garlic on there too, or basil if you're American. It's really damn nice. Okay, my wife is in the clear. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about stopping eating pork. Yeah, I miss pepperoni on pizza. Ugh. Come on, you can do this faster. Okay, it is getting firmer. All I need to do is keep moving it around a bit more and it'll get firm as hell. Chicken bruschetta parm is like my favorite. Did I just read that? I think I did, yeah. I don't think I've heard of chicken bruschetta parm. New York style pizza is gooey and thin. I love it. See, yeah, that's the thing. I love the thin crust. There is a place nearby us as well, another pizza place that does the New York style pizza. You know, the giant slices as big as your head, like that. Oof, I love those ones. Nice and greasy as well. Kind of greasy where you got to dab it down with a napkin for like 5 napkins or something. I love that. There's some people out there that said like New York pizza sucks, but you know what? You know what I say to those people? You suck, all right? And you're wrong. Your opinion and tastes are wrong. My favorite Domino's pizza order is 5 cheese pan pizza. I don't think I've tried that. But you know, I do like a pizza with like numerous cheeses on it. The best tier pizza out there, and I will, frozen pizza, and I will not be corrected on this. You know, if you're in the US, you may have tried it, you may not have. And I think it might be in Canada too, for you Canadians out there. But bruschetta, 5 cheese, square pizza, frozen pizza, dynamite, really, really damn good. Like, you know, if it's, as frozen pizza goes, you can't do better than that. Oh my God, the flavor of that thing, the sauce is incredible. The cheese selection is wonderful. If you want to, you can like sprinkle a bit of extra mozzarella on there, just, you know, for that extra bit of cheesiness to it. Oh, it's so good. I really want one now. Thing is, after this stream, we're probably gonna be having a frozen pizza that I got that isn't a bruschetta, just because after the stream I just want to make something quickly for dinner. But I feel like now, after talking about that, I'm gonna regret the fact that it's not the pizza that I want. Did it to myself. I've had that before. Yeah, it's so good. Freschetta, I think it's 5 or 4 cheese pizza, something like that. Yes, after I talked about Domino's, an email from them popped up. They're listening to you. I mean, I get, like, I am interested in the kind of ads that people get on here. And if they're related to the stuff that I'm talking about. I think that is the case sometimes. My mom's making a roast dinner right now, can't wait. Oof. What's part of it? I do love a good roast dinner. There's one thing I really miss from living in the UK. My mother would make a roast dinner almost every Sunday. Like roast beef, roast chicken, some nice gravy to go with it, roast potatoes, sometimes mashed potatoes. God, yeah. That's the kind of thing I miss a lot. We do make one every now and then. But the only downside is that American potatoes are quite different from British ones. Like in England, it's largely Maris Piper and King Edward potatoes, I think, that are like the 2 most popular ones. And they're nice and fluffy compared to the ones that you get in the US. You know, like here you got Russet, Yukon Gold, etc., which, you know, they're fine. But, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me as well. I would love to be able to import some potatoes from the UK over here, but unfortunately there are laws against importing any flora and fauna from another country. For the longest time, blackcurrant was banned in the US because they were worried about what effect it would have on the environment, even though it's like one of the most popular currants / berries in the UK. Let me show you how this is thickened now. And so I don't know if it's easy to tell on the camera, because yeah, yesterday, a few moments ago, it was close to just being milk. But now you can see there's a bit of resistance to it. I'll keep going a bit longer, just so I can get that extra bit of thickness. In fact, I'm going to turn up the heat a smidge, at the risk of aggravating my scar even more. It's the shit, absolutely. Roast dinners are great. And if you can find it, if you like your gravies, get a Bisto gravy. That's one from the UK, that's the most popular one there. It is really damn good. Once again, that's the kind of thing you can find in like an international section. But they do like beef gravy, chicken gravy. They even do like vegan gravy as well if you're a vegan or just don't fancy the meat on that occasion. But yeah, it's very good. Looks like a vanilla pudding, quite similar to it, yeah. But this is, like I said, it's gonna thicken, but it is still gonna be like pretty runny because it's something you gotta like pour over the thing that you're making. Let's see. Trying to remember when it's technically done actually, because like I said, it needs to be very pourable. But we'll give it a few more minutes of stirring. Ads inserted, lovely. We got those, oh nice. My mum makes this gravy with the trappings in a pan. Yeah, that's like the real deal gravy there, like using the actual stuff from the pan. And that is better, I would say. American's gravy is weird. Like, first time I saw biscuit gravy, like, I just couldn't believe it. Like this thing looks like, it's like all white. It's all like gooey. It was like a bunch of like dinosaur cum or something like that. And I was like, oh, this is grotesque. Like, why would you put this on your food? That was a very vulgar comparison. White gravy is disgusting. It is disgusting. Like, it just looks awful. I'm black, we don't eat that. Yeah, that's because I've been told like it's a southern thing and everything. And, you know, fair enough. But it's like, I don't know, you know, food is a visual medium. You want it to look good as well. And when you got something that just looks like a baby threw up on your food, like, no, I'm good, thanks. I don't care if it tastes good at that point. I was like, I'm not putting that near my mouth. Yeah, try looking it up, Tremolo, just to get an idea. It's just biscuit gravy, I think is what it's referred to. All right, it's getting good and thick with 2 C's here, maybe 3 C's. Both my grandmas are Southern and both are black. They still don't eat that. I mean, it's good to see you have standards, that your family has standards, because, yeah, I'm not sure I would feel even like sharing a table with someone who's eating that stuff. But yeah, in North Carolina, and I think South Carolina, and maybe a few more states now, there is the chain restaurant Bojangles. Bojangles Chicken and Biscuits, as it's called. And they have very good biscuits, they have very good chicken. I remember once, a while back, I think it was my first visit to the US, I ended up going there with a couple friends, and one of them ordered a biscuit with the biscuit gravy on it. And I was like, I don't think I can sit at the same table with you right now, because this is grotesque. I was like, oh, it's really nice, try it. Held up a spoon, and look at this thing, look at what you're eating. Imagine if you had an out-of-body experience right now and you could see yourself like this. Ah, the magic is happening. This is what you gotta wait for, the bubbles to appear. I know there's some, I can't remember the science to it, but you know, it's the chemical reaction once it hits a certain temperature. Same thing happens like when you're making caramel as well. So yeah, you can see the bubbles starting to pop there. I can't let it run for too long because those bubbles can actually be extremely dangerous to be around. I'll just give it about 30 seconds or so. Like I said, thick is how we want it. That restaurant name is horrible. Bojangles? I've never really thought it was particularly bad. It does sound very, very Southern. And it does remind me, what was that? There's a Bob Dylan song, Mr. Bojangles, I think. Something like that. I unashamedly look. I like Popeyes a bit better. I unashamedly look. Yeah, Popeyes is great. Popeyes, I love Popeyes. I would rank it a bit higher than Bojangles. But my favorite chicken joint in the world, believe it or not, after exploring lots of fried chicken places in the US, in the South, is still in the UK. I think I've talked about it before, but I'll bring it up again because it deserves it. There's a tiny little chicken joint just outside of Huddersfield in the UK. I went to Huddersfield University as I was growing up, and I would stop at this place all the time. Marston's Chicken. If you look at it on Google, you'll see what it is. It's a tiny little building. There's only one location, but damn is that place popular. Like every single day, line out of the door, and they do the best chicken wings you will ever try. Even my wife, who's lived in the South for all of her life, says it's the best she's had. Irresistible. All right, turn off the heat. No, I didn't. And I'm just going to stir this up a little bit more. We'll transfer it to a container. It's a long stir job. This is probably like 15-20 minutes at this point. That's the worst thing about making custard, to be honest with you. It is constant stirring. I wish there was some kind of device that you could just like attach to the side, like a robot arm that stirs for you. Like that would be heaven for me. Like if you're gonna make a sugar syrup, same kind of deal. If you're gonna make something that's just like a Italian meringue, you gotta stir it constantly, like these egg whites and sugar mixed in with each other. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Puts my hackles up. It's one of those words that's reading as this sounds problematic and I don't know why. Like Jollibee. I hear that, yeah. It's that kind of like Southern element where you end up wondering to yourself like, is that a thing, you know? Like, you know, there are certain words out there that almost like sound like racial slurs, but they're not quite. It's hard to say. I can't remember any off the bat. But there are just some words out here you're just like, does that mean something? Does that have history? We have a Jollibee in our new neighborhood and we're getting an H-Mart across the street. I've never heard of an H-Mart before. We did? What was it? Oh, the Asian grocers. Yes, we went to one actually, yeah. What did we get from there? Went to the bakery there, that was pretty nice. Yeah, we had some lunch. I know you had like some tempura stuff. Like a mix of tempura things. I remember. I do need to go to another Asian supermarket soon though, because I want to get some bulgogi sauce for beef bulgogi. There's actually a robot that stirs it for you. Please, by all means, share it in the Discord or here. I would like one. There's actually a Kitchen Gadget that does that, but I heard it sucks. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it sucks, to be honest with you. I'm excited to have the H-Mart nearby. The Korean grocery store I usually go to is far. That's super convenient, yeah. I mean, we do have an Indian supermarket nearby, and I usually go there just to pick up like some paratha. But yeah, I would love a more Southeast Asian store around nearby because they have some really nice stuff. It would be nice to have a less taxing way to be able to get hold of short grain rice, that's for sure. I had bulgogi udon. Sounds good. This isn't hot, is it? Okay, it's fine. All right, so we're gonna keep that in the pot. Oh yeah, let me show you. There we go. Nice, thick custard inside of it. Not too thick, but you know, there's a little bit of resistance. That's the kind of texture that you want from it. But yeah, it's lovely and sweet, very nice and creamy. Okay, so let's see the crumble. And I know that one person here, Tremolo, recognizes the crumble reference there. I said it, yes, there we go. Yes, Crumble is a reference to the British sitcom Friday Night Dinner, where practically every single episode they have apple crumble as their dessert, and in their childish glee they say crumble, which, can you make apple crumble sound any more British than that? Okay, so let's give it a feel. Still pretty hot on the side, but let me give you an overhead look. One second, let me open up the phone camera. Work, damn you. There we go. Here we go. And this is our crumble. As you can see, it's a nice toasty texture on the top of it. We're able to still pick it up. I mean, it's like your breadcrumbs, you know? It's got a good amount of firmness to it. It feels like cookie crumbs rather than being too soft. And underneath, you might be able to see, let me turn on the flash. Yeah, as you can see, that is the caramelized layer of apple with cinnamon and brown sugar and a touch of nutmeg inside of it. It is marvelous, if I do say so myself. Yeah, nice and soft. I tell you what, let me stick it with a knife just to make sure it has a decent amount of softness there. That is perfect. So yeah, apple crumble. I will take out a slice after a few minutes just to make sure it's fully cooled, because hot apple stuff is volcanic if you take it out too soon. Crumble. I will say it's not the most presentable food, but it is one of the more delicious stuff out there. Okay. What do I want to do? Let's check the custard. Gotta keep the custard moving in intervals just because you don't want it to form a skin on the top. Although some people really do love the custard skin. It's kind of like pudding skin. Sacramento is really blended, so we have things, but they tend to be across the country, and the traffic is really bad there. Ugh. So it's like constant. Is everything like too spread apart or something? Like you got to travel 30 minutes to get anywhere? Because yeah, I can't stand areas that are like that. I want an emoji that says Crumble. Not a bad idea. Might have to work that in somehow. I could actually make that myself. It looks good, thank you very much. Crunchy apple crumble. Alright, so yeah, we got all our components ready. Like I said, we're just gonna wait for it to cool down before we do the taste test. It's good vodka. Alright, I think, when is it? I'll take another short break just as it cools down. Just gonna wash this up a bit. So, for clarity on that Q&A thing, like, can anyone post a Q&A, or is it only me and I initiate it? I'm not 100% on how it works, and I'm curious. Well, I still have an audience that can help me with it. So let me put some stuff away. I want a snack, even though I'm about to eat Crumble. You know what? I made some sugar cookies the other day. In fact, if you remember the sugar cookie stream that I did the whole here's one I made earlier thing, and these are the ones that I made on the stream as well. I just put them in the freezer until I wanted more sugar cookies. I feel like a scoop of ice cream would be nice with that too. Honestly, yeah. Ice cream is fantastic with it. That's generally what I prefer, to be honest. We don't have any ice cream right now, unfortunately. I'm not a huge fan of custard myself, if I'm to be candid. This is for my wife. She tried custard like just under a year ago, like hot custard, and she fell in love with it immediately. A little bit of lumps in there, but honestly, some people say lumps make it better. It's not too bad though. Buddy, hello, how are you doing? Nice to have you here. Where does the custard go? Just pour it all over it as much as you want. Some people just put it on the side. Some people just douse the whole thing in custard. I feel like butt. Good butt or bad butt? All butt is good, but it can be. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Bad butt. Sorry to hear that. Oh yeah. Go follow Birdie and check out their comic, The Magical Freemasons Guild. I told you I'd come up with a pun. Yeah, I just needed 2 weeks for it, that's all. Go ahead, clip it. I don't think I've had any clips on my channel so far. Not that I know how to do it myself. I've been told I probably should make shorts out of these streams, but I'm lazy. Freemasons as magical girls. No, that's a thought. I'd read it. Okay. Right. So I'm going to take another quick break just so I can use the restroom and stretch because my back's feeling kind of shitty. After that, we will do the taste test, and then we'll probably wrap it up from there because I've got to get dinner. Gotta make sure, I'm gonna heat this up a tad just to make it less solid. Bear with me. Okay. So yeah, I'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes, something like that. Yeah, I always feel like I'm gonna say something as a follow-up to that, but I never do. So yeah, I'll see you in about 3 to 4 minutes. Stick around. We will try out the Crumble. See you soon. The prize. Look at who we've got here. Camus Salari. How are you doing, Camus? It's great to hear. Now, I hear that you've been starring in a few projects recently. You want to tell us any more about that? No? Okay. My wife actually has the camera right now on him. There he is. And believe it or not, despite how he's looking, he is much, much better. And you supporting us with the donations and whatnot really did help out. So thank you very much for that. Camus, say thank you to the nice people. Blink if you want to say thank you. Does that count as a blink or is it just closing? Okay, that counts as a blink. He says thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. All right. He's an adorable one. He's under NDA. Yeah, he can't say shit about it. He's on the next Christopher Nolan movie. A bit pretentious these days, if I'm honest. All out of fun juice. Want to get wrapped up in my big fleece blanket playing solitaire. It does sound fun. This deck is confusing to me. Instead of red and black suits, it's silver and gold, but I've already managed to fudge up my game. Oh, that would be confusing, yeah. In fact, if any of you are interested, there is a game that an indie game that's been released recently called Balatro. I've been playing the crap out of that. It is very addictive. It's kind of like poker, but with all of these like other elements mixed into it. It is very fun. It's random as well on many occasions, but if you're interested, it's on Steam. It is very, very good. But yeah, you need sponsors. I know, I probably do. I don't know, like, how would people feel about sponsoring a stream with 30-ish viewers? Would be nice. I don't know, I'd probably do something like a HelloFresh or something like that. Like, I know that they have a good product. But yeah, that would mean I'd also have to cook it on stream. Let me just heat up this custard a bit because it has gotten a bit gelatinous. Anything with cornstarch in can firm up pretty quickly. Let me switch to a whisk instead. Pop that on the side. I'm just switching to a whisk so I can break up the lumps inside of it because I don't know if you can tell from that, but it is a little bit lumpy now. I'm applying some heat. And one, you know, if we're gonna look at sponsors, ones that, you know, I genuinely would like, KitchenAid, because this is a KitchenAid, my stand mixer is a KitchenAid, I have a hand mixer as well, that's a KitchenAid, and you know, the simple fact is they make damn good appliances. I will absolutely give them that. That KitchenAid stand mixer is built like a tank. It's great, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be interested. Same with Ninja as well, that little convection oven that I made this in, like that thing is wonderful. Air fries, bakes, air bakes. Even comes on like a thermometer thing, so like if you're roasting a chicken, you just stick the thermometer into the chicken, like as deep as possible, and it will just, you don't even have to worry about the time, you just keep baking it until it reaches the correct temperature. It's magic. And yeah, you can air fry too, which, you know, if you haven't joined the air fryer gang yet, you need to get on board. Air frying is the future. All right, this looks like it's doing well. But, you know, in an ideal world, I wouldn't do any sponsorships because, you know, as much as I am open to the idea of promoting products that I genuinely like, of course, every now and then something's going to slip through the cracks that you may not actually like, or it turns out that it's not that great. I believe there's one product I want to say, but I don't know if I'm under a, whatchamacallit, non-disparagement agreement, which is different from a non-disclosure agreement. So yeah, I'll avoid it, I will say it. But there is one that I did that, you know, turned out to not be great. But, you know, at the time, the research I did, it seemed all right. And it was a bit of a novelty product, so it wasn't terrible. But yeah, I would like to be able to just simply fall back on my support on Patreon. But unfortunately, I don't pull in that much on there, at least not enough for like a sustainable income. And I'm not complaining about it. You know, I always greatly appreciate the amount that I do get from the people who do put forward whatever they can. But yeah, you know, it's a tough gig when you're trying to do this as a full-time job, which is what I do. Trader Joe's sponsor with back pay. Hell, I'll take that. Trader Joe's does owe us at this point. I've been throwing their products left, right, and center. In fact, most of these ingredients I've used are Trader Joe's. The flour, the butter, the apples. Yeah. Okay, this looks like it's smoothed out a good amount. Curse them and their uniquely delicious products. And the prices are hard to argue with. Like, I will say, you know, it's great quality for what you pay for. That's undeniable. And it's like they have some of the best affordable natural chocolate there. And as someone who loves chocolate, and it's quite hard to find really good chocolate in America, they get it right. Okay, look at this lovely goop. Yeah, they don't use like high fructose corn syrups in the products as well, like any of their sweets, they don't use it, which is a huge bonus. Because yeah, even the fancier chocolates in the US, like Godiva and Ghirardelli, they use high fructose corn syrups in those. Ghirardelli is really good. Godiva's okay. But yeah, at the same time, they don't use like cane sugar inside of it, whereas Trader Joe's does. Let me just use let me just get the spatula back just so I can get the bits off the bottom. And once I get all this out, we will cut ourselves a lovely slice of crumble. You want the pot? Okay. There we go. My wife is going to have the pot with the spatula. Don't be careful of touching it. Okay. And yes, like I said, the Crumble thing is a reference from the UK sitcom Friday Night Dinner. Look it up. It is a very good sitcom. It's very fun. I don't know if it's on any streaming services in the US, but if you look it up, or if you know your way around piracy, it's definitely worth a watch. Very fun show. All right, so here is the custard. Wibble wobble, wibble wobble. Yeah, see, it's sort of like semi-gelatinous. In fact, if you're going to get scientific about it, it is technically a non-Newtonian substance, which means that if it remains in motion, it can actually have a semi-solid state. Science. I always forget sometimes which camera I'm supposed to be looking at, and that makes no sense to be looking in that camera, because if I was to, I'd have to go like this. And even there, does it? Yeah, I wasn't even in. Hi. Custard. What a goof. When I was shopping, it was so affordable when I lived alone, but as soon as I moved in with my fiance, I realized their serving sizes are kind of small. That is true, yeah. But yeah, it's like compared to other places, it is pretty small serving size. Like, for example, they do like this really nice frozen chow mein stuff, but yeah, even though it's supposed to be for 2 people, it's not substantial enough really, which is a shame. Ghirardelli's mid to me, they're local. Ghirardelli baking chocolate is really nice to me. I love using it in like chocolate chip cookies, but my choice for baking chocolate has to go to Guittard, which is Guittard. They make fantastic chocolate. It's about as natural as it gets. I think it's made in California actually. Somewhat hard to get your hands on, but not that expensive. So if you ever see Guittard, go for it. It's wonderful stuff. Okay. I prefer when we had the proper Godiva shops. I think there's one near us actually in a mall. Yeah, there is one there. BritBox, they have it. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Because yeah, it used to be on Netflix in the US, but it isn't anymore. Tony's Chocolonely. I've never heard of that. I'll have to look that up. I had a friend in Latvia that sends me chocolate. Oh, lucky you. Latvia does some good stuff. All right, let's make a serving. So you can either use a bowl or a plate. Completely up to you. Lindt truffles. Those are god tier chocolates. When I went to the UK in Leeds, there was actually a whole Lindt store. They had like all different kinds of flavors there, like popcorn flavor, mango flavor, champagne flavor, like all different kinds of stuff. It was amazing. But yeah, I'd never seen something like that before. But yeah, Lindt. The chocolate and caramel, that's the good stuff there. Okay, so with this one, simple, you know, just cut out a square. It's sloppy, it doesn't matter if it doesn't look great, but yeah, you just cut out whatever size you like. Is the overhead set up for this? Kind of? Okay. Yep, so here we go. Like I said, it's not going to hold together. It's crumble, and much like the name suggests, it kind of just falls apart. But we'll try to be neat and presentable with this. And let's see if I can pry this out. Yep, see, it all just falls apart, perfectly normal. Get these apple slices out there. That's a good temperature now. That's the perfect temperature for it. Yeah, but we'll be a bit more generous. That is a fairly small slice. Hard to make something like this presentable. I had a picture of it in the thumbnail. You have no idea how hard it was to find a well-presentable apple crumble. You can actually make a pie version of this as well. You just have to get like a pastry base for it, which you bake in advance. And the piece de resistance, the custard. Someone brought a cheesecake into the house, so I'll be having dessert with dinner. Oof, what kind of cheesecake we're talking about here? Johnny Doodle. Johnny Doodle? That Johnny Doodle, is that a chocolate or something? My grocery store, they have this Polish chocolate called Prince Polo, and they sell 2 for $1. I think I've heard of that before. I do know that the Polish really like wafer. Like a lot of Eastern Europe really likes wafer products. Still trying to perfect cheesecake bakes. Yeah, if you're looking for a good cheesecake, I recommend the site Preppy Kitchen. He has some very good cheesecake recipes on there. I've never had a failure with that one. Yeah, very good stuff. Key lime pie is wonderful, yeah. Yeah, not burning the top of a cheesecake can be a bit of a challenge, especially if it's like a vanilla cheesecake, strawberry, or anything with a pale top. All right, now for the custard, like I said, you can pour a bit on the side, you can pour it on the top. It's up to you. Dear, you want the custard on the side or all over it? Around it, like a moat? Okay. It does have a bit of a skin, but it's fine. Oh my god, there's a lot of custard. Okay, that'll do. Well, I thought I had it presentable for a moment there. Oh well. Just wipe this off so it doesn't start blobbing everywhere. Clean up that edge. This is probably going to be the photograph I post on the cord. Trying to get it to even out. Maybe. Okay. I won't play with it further just because. There we go. Apple crumble and custard. Done. What do y'all think? Made a peanut butter pie at one point. Ooh, that sounds good. I do love peanut butter. Tony's Chocolonely, they're focused on making their product as ethical as possible. Johnny Doodle is a Dutch chocolate. I think it is awesome. I'll have to look those up. Like I say, I'm a chocolate nut, so stuff like that, I'm always open to hearing it. I want some chocolate by Jacques Torres at some point, because he's what he calls himself, Mr. Chocolate. And yeah, he's on the show, nailed it. It's a very fun show. Let me get the picture of this. Okay. There we go. And tell you what, let me show you a close-up with the phone camera. Here we go. Crumble with custard. So yeah, since my wife is a custard lover, would you like to do the taste test for that? Okay. Yeah. That's technically a moat of custard, I guess. Tell you what, I'm going to hand this over to my wife. She will give you a verdict off camera. Probably a spoon is better. And I will put out a serving for myself without the custard. There you go. Bon appetit. And where's my... I didn't get a bowl. 1 second. Good stuff. Okay. Get myself a fairly small slice since I'm about to eat dinner too. That is a crumbly crumble. Yeah, if you want to make this, I will post the recipe in the Discord later on. The only alterations I made to the recipe was including cinnamon and nutmeg. But outside of that, as you can tell, it was super easy to make. All right, and here we go. This is sans custard. Wonderful crumble. Is it going to look like shit if I put on flash? Kind of. Yeah, now you can see nicely caramelized apples on the inside. Lovely cinnamon and nutmeg in there. It's wonderful. But yeah, let me have my go. Crumble looks fantastic. Well, thank you very much. And like I said, if you want to give it a shot, I'll share that recipe. You are welcome to share your results, and you know, it'll make you and other people happy. Where's my spoon? Okay. All right, here we go. Make sure I get a good mix of apple and crumble. Lovely. Nice and buttery. Complements each other well. You know, you got the moisture of the apples. Because crumble on its own is very, very, very dry, even though it's got a bunch of butter in it. But yeah, it's a lovely combination of flavors. Not aggressively sweet. I put the right amount of salt in there so it doesn't just feel overwhelming or anything. But yeah, really good. It's very nostalgic for me too, because you know, growing up in the UK, it was a dessert that my mother would make after our Sunday roast dinners. So, always nice to have one of those things that takes you back. But, yeah, lovely stuff. See, British food isn't all bad, contrary to what people say. We do have some very wonderful desserts there. There's some very weird desserts too, admittedly. But yeah, give it a try, honestly. Like, one thing I always try and encourage people to do is go out there and bake. It's a truly wonderful thing. Like, it makes you happy, it makes other people happy. And failure or not, you tried something, and that's always worth putting out there, you know? Just give it a shot, see how it goes. If it fails, so what? If it doesn't fail, you got something great. Keep trying again and again until you get something right. And even when you have semi-failures, you'll probably still make something good and edible that people still really like, you know? Even like a little burnt cookie can be nice for people. Yeah, if I can catch up. I'd love to give it a go, showing my sister. Yeah, go ahead. Like I said, I'll share the recipe later on in the food channel on the Discord. And I would love to see any of your results. With the container, you can use the recipe that I got the site from. It says you can use like a pie dish that's at least 5 centimeters in height. This is just an 8 by 8 inches, that is. And the depth of it, I think, is about 7 centimeters or something. But if you do something larger, just slightly increase the amount of apples that you use, and you know, you can always create more crumble as well. It's really easy to make adjustments for it, is what I'm saying. But yeah, give it a go, seriously. I promise you, you will really love it. And you know, that's why I always preach about how wonderful baking is, because it is a wonderful thing. It's for you, for the people you love. Is to share, and it's great. And yeah, as I said, I really love seeing people and their work that they do. Always touches my heart in a way, you know, seeing other people try these things, learning something, and making something that's just absolutely delicious. That's peaches and cream cheese pie for me. Ooh, that does sound good. Oh yeah, I missed your message. What kind of a cheesecake are you having, Tremolo? I often play a will it pie with recipes. This one is a tad too obvious. They're like talking about whether you can put it in a pie. You ever seen that show on Netflix, Is It Cake? It's an oddly compelling idea. It's like everyone knows, everyone there, including the host, realizes that this is a stupid idea, because all it is people making things that, well, they're making cakes that look like things, like everyday objects or something like that, and they have to make it delicious, and they have to make it look as accurate as possible. So it could be like a handbag or something like that, or a sneaker. And these cakes are like 90% fondant because of what you need, because you need that to sculpt it into a shape. But it's a weird experiment. I enjoyed it in a kind of twisted way that like everyone's just going along with this kind of stupid idea. Yeah. Is it Cake, if you're interested in watching that. To be fair, we have ambrosia salad over here, so we shouldn't talk. I've heard about it. That's like the super sweet salad, isn't it? It's like candy and berries and stuff like that. Marshmallows, yeah. I remember seeing that in the past and thinking like, God, that sounds lovely. No, I don't, but that's when I heard about it actually, when you went to that party. So yeah, I don't think I could touch that. I feel like my teeth hurt just thinking about that thing. I thought it was just called marshmallow salad in my family. I mean, that would make more sense. Ambrosia is kind of bigging it up a little bit too much. You know, ambrosia is the food of the gods. I don't see the gods eating salad. I don't see the gods eating marshmallows mixed with a bunch of shit. I'm losing my voice. I don't see the gods eating marshmallows mixed in with a bunch of shit. Is that whipped cream as well, or something like that? Common church lunch and dessert. Yeah, I've heard about that. Cake that looks like a bag of Doritos. Oh. A Midwest thing? Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the only downside with those cakes on Is It Cake is the fondant. Because I cannot stand fondant. Its texture is awful. It's super chewy. It's way too sweet. It's bad. It's like the worst part of every cake. Never watched it. Really need to watch it with a cake ready. Watch an episode or two. Honestly, it's kind of surreal watching Is It Cake, just because it's one of those moments where you're just like looking at it and thinking to yourself, wow, this is television now. Okay. Gotta get going, but enjoy, folks. Take care, chat. Tremolo, thank you for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you enjoy your cheesecake and roast. Color me jealous. Okay. 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 Yeah, I will hold that until after dinner. Maybe, we'll see. But yeah, I think I'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. As I mentioned, I'll put the recipe up in the food channel in the Discord later on. If you do want to make it, absolutely feel free to post whatever your results are. Even if it goes poorly, post it anyway, perfectly fine. And if you need any advice, just ask me. I'll more than likely be able to answer it. Oh yeah, the outro music. I need to pause. Why does Spotify never pause when I do this? Can you pause Spotify for me, please? Ruining my moment. I think it might be prioritizing YouTube instead of Spotify. Yes, it is. Okay. Anyway. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I always love doing these baking streams, and I always love it when people come along and give me the time of day to do something that I genuinely enjoy. Once again, go out there and bake. It's a great thing. Make yourself happy, make other people happy. I'll be back again next week on Tuesday, 2 p.m. EST/EDT. And yeah, I'm working on the next video too. The next video is going to be about media and how it's become a disposable product due to how we consume it and the nature of how it's produced these days. It'll be an interesting one, a little bit bleak, just because, you know, media is something that's very important, especially music, but we'll see how that goes. I've finished writing it, so I just got to record and edit it now. Easier said than done, but I'll get there. Thank you very much once again. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week and the rest of your day, however long that might be. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much.